Hey YouTube, I'm back again with another late night ramble, and I know it's been a while since my last upload. I do apologize for that. I think it's probably been like a month since I uploaded, and it's mainly just because I've just kind of been neck deep in all of my copes, and I've been just spending a majority of my time just coping with video games. And also, like, briefly after I recorded my last video, I ended up driving back home to my hometown, and I was there for about 2 weeks. I unfortunately didn't have my computer with me, so I couldn't record or upload. And to be honest, in general, I didn't really even want to even have that option because I was taking my time to just kind of I don't know how to describe it, to just detox from life. I went home and just used the time to just kind of chill. Do things in my hometown that I used to do. I met up with one of my normie friends. He's the one that I always watch anime with, and he lives out of state for school, and he was back home briefly for a couple of days, so I met up with him a couple of times, and we hung out. We went to the thrift store, and we played some pickleball. Honestly, it was really nice because I hadn't seen him in probably like 6 months. Like, I think before that, like I hadn't seen him in person since like November. And that was nice. And also, my family was on their best behavior for once. I was genuinely surprised. I was kind of worried going back home, mostly because like my parents, they're like I said in the last video, they're like always fighting. And my sister, she's also like really abusive towards me. And luckily this time she wasn't. She was actually being nice for once. It's kind of rare. I remember we opened some Pokemon card packs with her, and it was a good time. And my mom and my dad, they were luckily not feuding for once. I remember like a day or two before I left, they were arguing again, and I just tried my best to just stay in my room and hopefully not get dragged into it. Which luckily, I was left alone. And I was there for about 2 weeks, and I spent a lot of time just in my room. Just spent a lot of time just like reading. I've never talked about this on my channel, but I like reading a lot. I was reading the ReZero web novel. I pretty much spent that time to catch up on the latest arc, which is arc 10. I've been really enjoying arc 10. I like the direction it's going in, and I'm excited for it. But since I've been pretty much caught up with that, I've been looking for more like web novels to like get into. So if you guys have any like recommendations, something kind of like ReZero, I would be very open to it. I'm mainly just looking for a story that has like a really like cool and interesting and like unique world that I can kind of like engross and like lose myself in. That's like the first thing. And second, I'm looking for a story that has like really like deep and like nuanced emotional characters that I can like relate to. And finally, I want something that has like an interesting, has like a cool mystery. So if you guys have any recommendations, let me know. Or if you guys are reading ReZero, let me know also. I pretty much have no one to talk to about the ReZero novel. I have my normie friend, but he only watches the anime, so I think it'd be cool. And also, when I was back home, I used to go on like a lot of walks, and I walked to the park, and I went to this one spot that I used to always chill at. And I remember it brought me back to like 2024 because during fall 2024 I ended up dropping out of college, out of my community college. This was right before I changed my majors because I was doing engineering, and it was just making me just completely hate my life, and I was just so depressed back then that I just ended up just one day, I remember I had a physics class the next day, and I was just dreading it so bad, like I just couldn't sleep, and I just kept thinking about this physics lab that I would have to do, and just like the people I would have to work with, because the group I was in, it was just a bunch of people who just they kind of just had no clue what they were doing. I remember they would just pretty much just like rely on me to do all the work, and then even though I was pretty much the team player who did a majority of the work on our projects and our labs, they still disrespected me and just like treated me badly. Like I remember I would try to like talk to them. I would ask them questions and stuff, and they would just ignore me and just like not say anything. But then when they needed something, they would come nagging to me about it, and like they would even get like really pushy with me to like use there was this girl, she was like really pushy. She wanted me to like join this program that she was in, and I think like once I like rejected her and said like no, like I don't want to join this program. I don't know if she was like a salesman or something and she'd get like a cut if someone joined. But like I told her like I didn't want to join, and after that she just pretty much just like started just ignoring me. She would only talk to me. She like needed something for the lab, and I was just dreading just having to do this again. So I ended up just that same night I just dropped all my classes. And I ended up never telling my parents. So like what I would do is every morning on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which was when I had this class, I would leave early in the morning. It was at like 7 a.m. I would wake up. Put on my clothes, get in my car, and then I would drive to the park by my house, and I would just chill at the park for like 3-4 hours until I had to go back home. And pretty much what I would do during that time is I remember I was really watching Freedom Misato's content a lot of the time, and I remember he would always be streaming, and he'd be playing like video games. I remember he would stream a lot of like Assassin's Creed. I would watch that all the time, or like Watch Dogs or something. And it was just really nice because I would just chill in my car and just watch his live streams like early in the morning, because I'm in America, and he was in the UK, right? So there's like that time difference. But since I was getting up early for this class, now I had the time to do that, and I was just really just reminiscing back on those days in 2024. And it just made me. I was just thinking, like, man, like where did the time go? It just seems like these past couple years, they've just pretty much just been a complete, like, nothing burger chapters of my life. And, you know, a lot of it could, you know, if you ask me why, it's probably because, I think it's because of, like, depression. Like, the depression it just steals so much of your time. Like, I remember since 2023, since I quit working, I pretty much just lived my life like a hiki, like a hikikomori. And, you know, technically I wasn't a NEET because, like, I was still in school, but I pretty much lived like a NEET. You know, I would, like, rarely go outside. I would just, like, spend most of my time just on the internet, just playing games, you know, watching anime, and just just coping with, like, Black Pill content. Like like I would watch, like, DVDR, like I said, you know, like Freedom Asado, even though, like, you know, he didn't consider himself Black Pill, but I remember back in the day, you know, he kind of started out as a Black Pill channel. And I was just thinking, like, what the fuck happened, man? Like, I also celebrated my 23rd birthday while I was at home. And, you know, I was talking to one of my normie friends here at my university town, since I've been back here for like 3 weeks now. And, you know, I was talking to him, and I didn't even know how old he was until, like, recently. I found out he was only 20 years old, which was, like, crazy to me, because, man, like, this guy's 20, I'm 23, and it's like, yeah, you know, you might say, oh, you know, it's just 3 years is not a big difference, but I don't know. To me, it just feels like there's a big difference there. And I remember, like, when I was 20, like, and I was just thinking back, like, what was I doing when I was 20 years old? And, like, I genuinely, I can't remember. Like, I can't tell you a single thing I did when I was 20. And it wasn't even that long ago. It was only 3 years ago. Like, I literally don't remember what I did. Like, it's just blank. Like, the past 3 years are just completely blank to me. Like, I can't tell you a single interesting thing that happened in the past 3 years. I've been pretty much living the same exact day every single day, where I wake up, I go to school, I come home, I do my homework, and then I play video games, and then I go to bed. That's pretty much been my entire, like, life for the past 3 years. And that's kind of the whole reason why I chose to transfer to a university that was kind of farther away from my hometown, mostly because, like, I just kind of just wanted to get away from, you know, I guess the very, I guess, comfortable life that I had, like, you know, lost myself in a routine for. You know, I just wanted to change a routine. I just wanted to be in someplace different, meet different, you know, be around different people, and just see what happens. But, you know, as all things go, you know, nothing ever fucking happens. And, you know, I've been here for 6 months now, almost 7, and pretty much nothing has changed. You know, like the first month, me being here was a bit different because, you know, I had to adjust to living on my own. But ever since after that, my life just defaulted to how it was before, and pretty much nothing has changed. And, you know, I guess I should have, you know, expected this. And I remember even back then, like, in the back of my mind, I was thinking, like, you know, even if I move and I go somewhere else, like, you know, nothing will change. You know, it's like, what if nothing changes? And, you know, I wanted to cope and say, no, like, this is going to be a new chapter in my life. I'm going to meet new people. Things are going to be different for me, but that voice in the back of my head was correct. Nothing has changed for me. And to be honest, this is not a living situation that I can continue to afford anymore. I've been living off of my savings for the past 6 months. I haven't been working at all. And I've kind of just been thinking of just moving back. But I can't do that because, I have school here and my home is far away. It's like a 3.5-4 hour drive. I can't commute that long of a drive. So I'm actually gonna end up moving in with my grandma. They live a bit closer to me. It's like a hour and a half drive from my school, so I'm gonna be moving in with them and just commuting to school because I just want to save money. And I already know that's gonna be it's gonna be miserable because I've already kind of experienced what like commuting feels like. Because back in my hometown, my college was it was like 30 minutes away from me, and I would always have to commute there, and during rush hour and stuff, and it was so bad. It was so bad for a 30-minute drive. Now imagine what's going to be like for an hour and a half, but I guess it is what it is. I'm going to have to power through it. Dude, what am I even talking about? I'm just saying random shit at this point. I don't even remember what the topic of the video was. But yeah, anyway, so since I came back to my university, I'm back in my apartment now. And I have my computer. I've been working on this one summer class I'm taking. It's like an online class. And other than that, I've been busy just playing games. I've been playing Destiny 2. And I've never talked about this, but Destiny 2 is like my favorite game of all time. I have thousands of hours played. And pretty recently, last week actually, the game is getting its final live service update, so it will no longer be getting any new content. And I've just been playing that as much as I can to just squeeze as much fun as I can out of my favorite video game before it basically dies. And while it's, sad to think about, right now I'm actually having a lot of fun. And it's been kind of the cope that I've like engrossed myself in, because I don't know about you guys, but for me, I'm the happiest whenever I'm 100% all in on whatever interest I have, or whatever game that I'm really into. I just get on and grind the game every day, and then when I'm not playing the game, I'm watching videos, or I'm reading forums or articles about the game. And not only that, I've actually reconnected with a lot of my old gaming buddies that I used to play with back during lockdown and shortly after. It's been really nice. I'm back in my old Destiny 2 clan that I used to be in. And I've reconnected with a lot of people that, I didn't talk to these guys in years. And it's been really nice. It reminds me of the old days when we used to get on every day and grind Destiny. It's been a lot of fun. But besides that, it's been very bittersweet, And it's just really been really unfortunate what's happening with the game. This game had so much potential, and I loved it so much, and I believed in it so much, and I played it so much, but it all just pretty much amounted to nothing. Thousands of hours spent on the game, and I pretty much have nothing to show for it. And that's not to say I, regret playing the game. I honestly don't. This game has been my cope pretty much for, like the past, 10 plus years. Like I remember back in like high school, all I would think about while I was in school was how I'm gonna get home and play Destiny 2. Even at school when I'd get kind of bullied and made fun of. But like I always knew in the back of my head that like I'll be okay and that I have something waiting for me at home. I just have to make it through the day, and then I can play my favorite video game and talk to my friends and run a raid or do some nightfalls or just run some strikes and just relax and listen to music. It's such a fun game and I've loved it so much, and it's sad how it was just killed by corporate greed, just as all my other favorite games have. But yeah, anyways, that's kind of an update. I've been better since my last episode that I uploaded. But I haven't really gone better. I've just been coping my balls off. But I've been having a good time, so I guess it's okay. As long as it's making me feel better. I'd rather feel better than to just sit there and wallow all day. I'd rather do something, so yeah. Thanks for listening.